So you clicked on this video because you want to learn how to get faster this year. I have spent plenty of years learning how to get faster, trying new strategies that have helped me become a 3-time Olympic athlete. And in this video, I want to share with you guys some of the things that have been so crucial to my success. If you want to see success in sprinting and running this year, then keep watching because I have some points that can hopefully help you. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cindy Sember. For those of you who do not know me, I am a 3-time Olympian. I have spent countless years training for championships, pushing my body and just getting faster. And in this video, I want to share with you guys strategies and ways to help you increase your speed. I know that a lot of people love to start running in the new year and want to become a better version of themselves with running. And I know it can be discouraging if you're not seeing progress with your speed. The first thing I want you to do when you're trying to get better with your speed is to get better in your overall fitness. So what does that look like? I want you to think about what are you doing right now in your daily lifestyle that's going to help you become a more fit person. You want to start thinking about your nutrition. So what are you fueling yourself with that is going to set you up for success? Are you eating at the proper times before you work out, before you're pushing your body? Are you eating the right things that are going to help you have that energy to have that force output to increase that speed? Too often we think that speed is just a natural gift or something we can train to do, which both of those things are true, but we don't focus on the fact that nutrition can have such an impact in how we can actually increase our speed. When it comes to nutrition, something that's helped me is focusing on protein-rich diets. What I like to do before I work out, and this is what works for me as a sprinter. For those of you who may be distance runners, you might need a little bit more calorie intake than I do. But for me personally, I like to start off with a high protein breakfast to get me ready for my sprinting sessions. So whether that's an omelet with vegetables or some type of steak, sometimes I'll do yogurt with fruit, just having some, and that's Greek yogurt because it's high in protein. Before your workout, you want to make sure you're fueling your body properly. When you have a higher amount of energy to kind of give, you're going to have increased speed. The days I don't eat and fuel my body, I honestly can't give anything. My muscles don't want to cooperate properly. I don't have the energy to really just give it my all. And honestly, I just can't sprint fast. I don't want you to neglect the fact that your nutrition is going to make a big difference. Not only is what you're eating important, but also when you're eating. So I think for me personally, I have learned that eating kind of an hour to 2 hours before my workout is effective for me because I will still have a little bit of food in my system, but it's not so close to the point where I feel heavy and I'm not able to work out and push my body. I want you to kind of experiment with this. You should be able to fuel yourself properly with an adequate amount of time for your food to digest, but you also want to make sure that energy is not completely depleted by the time you're on the track or on the trail or wherever you're going as a runner. So I know that if I'm going to have a hard session where I want to really work on speed, I want to have those carbs in me because that ultimately will give me the energy I need to reproduce that speed that I'm looking for. It also is important to focus on what you're eating directly after each workout. So if you're really trying to get faster this year, you want to also have protein after your workout. And this is something I really take seriously because that's going to help you replenish those broken tissues and all those things in your system that are breaking apart. So right after a workout, I like to take Perfect Amino. This is a supplement that you can start taking. It is perfectly fine for athletes. I have been taking it this year and it really helped me with my speed, and I think it can help you too. So Perfect Amino has like the right amount of protein for you to take right after your workout. I take about 5 of these, but also not even just taking those supplements, but also going back to what else can I eat after this workout. So chicken, fish, really refueling because people don't really focus on that part. It wasn't until I really put an emphasis on how am I eating that I started to see the progress that I wanted to see. You also want to make sure you are keeping track of your overall weight. I'm not saying you need to track calories and lose weight, but I will say that when I became leaner with my body fat ratio is when I started getting faster. I'm not here to tell you like I think the scale is going to tell you how much weight you need to lose, and I'm not here to advocate for that. However, I'm going to keep it real with you guys here and tell you that if your BMI is a little bit higher than it needs to be, you should probably start looking into that. A scale will not always tell you, whether or not you're on the right track, because sometimes I will be heavier because my muscle has increased and that's a good thing. But when it's more so fat, that's when I notice that I can't run as fast. So you want to make sure your BMI is at the right number, and I can do another video on all that stuff. Let me know in the comments if that's something you're interested in. You want to make sure that the calories you're taking in are enough and sufficient for you to feel fueled, but also not to be overeating. So being cognizant of how much am I eating, portion control, keeping yourself leaner is going to help you feel faster. I've been doing this series for beginners, and if you guys are finding this helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, because I'm going to be adding some more videos in this series, whether that is with nutrition or is different exercises you guys can be doing, just tips along the way to kind of help motivate you and keep you accountable. Make sure you guys are liking it, and if you are, definitely leave me a comment just so I know. Next thing you're going to want to do if you are trying to increase speed this year is you want to look at what kind of workouts you're doing. I'm speaking from a sprinter background, so it's really easy for me to talk about sprinting, but if you're a distance runner and you want your speed to increase, you're going to want to think about different workouts you can implement to do this. So let's say you have a long run and you have to go hit your mileage, and you have certain markers and things you need to do for that. In that run, are you taking the time to have certain parts where it's faster, where you are ramping it up a bit? Are you at the end of that long run taking some time to go on the track and just do a few strides to kind of implement those fast twitch muscles? You just need to find different things that work for you that are going to help you increase that speed. From a sprinter's perspective, if you are a sprinter or hurdler or whatever it is in track, then you're going to want to do intervals such as short sprint bursts. So you want to do 10-meter runs, 20-meter runs. You want to do a lot of quick intervals that are going to help you really become faster. So what I like to do is I like to go from a start line to a cone, and I will have different cones for each distance. Maybe 5 to this first cone, 4 to the third cone, 3 to the second cone. I just do a lot of that kind of work, and that's like 10 meters, 20 meters, 30 meters, and that's really going to help me with my sprinting. Depending on your goals, you might want to do it with little rest if you want to increase your sprint endurance. So you want to be fast but also have endurance. But if you want to really get that optimal speed, you're going to want to have longer rest periods in between, because that's going to help you kind of recuperate and get your body ready to kind of go again and to replicate that speed. So when I am working on optimal speed and velocity and just really executing all those fast twitch muscles, I want to give myself full recovery time to actually get the benefit of the workout. Playing around with different workouts that can help you. If you are on a track team, then this is going to be easy for you because you'll have a coach who hopefully will be directing you towards this. But I want you to be aware that you're going to need to do these workouts, and you're going to need to do them to the best of your ability if you want to see progress this year, because that is what made such a difference for me when I was on this journey of increasing my speed, getting those personal bests, setting national records, being one of the best in the world. Was when I was very, very cognizant of how I was doing these workouts, because it truly does replicate into your performance. Another thing I want you to think about if you are trying to increase your speed this year is your flexibility. So back in 2020, I was working with a coach who really emphasized flexibility, and 2021 was my best year by far in terms of personal bests and just feeling my best on the track. So we worked on stretching, we worked on just different movements to kind of get those full range of motions in every single muscle. We just really worked on being flexible in every part of my body, and that made such a difference. On this channel, I have videos of different stretches and warm-ups you can do to help you out with your flexibility, but having some type of flexibility regimen in your workouts in the beginning of the workout, at the end of the workout, maybe even in between. So sometimes when I'm taking a break in between my session, or let's say I have an interval workout like I told you guys earlier, and I'm doing the 10s and 20s, and I have that 10-minute break, I'm going to be doing some stretches, and I'm not going to overstretch. There's a balance, right? So you don't want to overstretch, but I might be doing some, movements that are helping my range of motion and things that are keeping me warm. You just really want to be flexible, because that's going to help you have that stride length you want to have. That's going to help you run faster. Speed is stride rate times stride length, and that is truly what gets you that time you want and that goal and that personal best that you want. Be flexible. Really emphasize stretching before workouts and after. Dynamic movements and drills will really help with this. Another thing you want to work on if you want to increase your speed this year are your sprint mechanics. So I can't emphasize this enough, but having the proper sprint mechanics is going to help you tremendously. So you're gonna wanna make sure you're lifting your leg up properly, you're extending your leg out right, you're running with the right arm motion, like all of that stuff, you don't think about it, but it really does take milliseconds away from your times. And when you are, emphasizing these in your training sessions, when you go to a competition or, you're trying to test yourself one day, you'll see all of that coming together, and you'll see like, oh, okay, muscle memory. Like repetition really does equate to success. I have done sprint drills to help me with this. I have done studying. So I look at other athletes who have done what I want to do and I look at their form and that mental remembrance of, okay, you gotta bring your leg up, you gotta pull your leg down this way, you gotta, just really do it in this motion. And just studying that has helped me. Really getting comfortable with learning will help you do that and to just replicate that for success. Something else you really want to consider, and I highly, highly recommend it because this is what made a world of difference for me when I was becoming faster, and that was strength training. So you really want to start lifting weights, you guys. Like I talk about this in most of my videos, but lifting weights is such a game changer, not only for recovery, for injury, but it really helps with speed. You don't realize that building that muscle in certain parts of your body is going to help you execute and to just feel very powerful, and it'll keep your sprint mechanics stronger. It just makes you feel more explosive so that you can get on the ground running. Some of the lifts that can help you with running fast are power cleans, panda pulls, back squat, front squat, deadlifting. All of these like Olympic liftings can really help you. But also I have experimented with Bulgarian squat and single leg squat. Static exercises can also be very beneficial as well for sprinting because sometimes isolation is really helpful, but overall getting that replication, trying to mimic what you're doing on the track is gonna be the Olympic lifting. When I started to go to the gym, work with a weight coach who is just gonna show me the proper form, who's pushing my boundaries, because let me tell you, when I figured out that I was stronger than I thought, I started lifting weights that most women I know cannot lift, okay? I'm not even trying to brag on here, I'm just being honest. Like, I pushed my body to its limits, and when I started doing that, the track became so much easier. Like running was a breeze. And so, yeah, I think that strength training has made it so much more fun to go on the track because my body not only feels strong, but it just naturally feels more explosive. And start to do this and allow it to be something you're doing maybe 3 to 4 times a week because, yeah, having that in addition to the running workouts will be a recipe for success. Another thing that can help you guys with your sprinting this year is plyometric work. So plyometric work is so useful when it comes to getting faster because it is truly getting your body used to that fast movement and those jumps and that acceleration with force. And when you are trying to incorporate plyos, you can start with balance work. It requires a lot of balance when it comes to plyos, and sometimes you're doing single leg stuff and single leg hops and jumps and quick agility movements. So I want you to work on your balance because when I worked on balance and just like making sure my body was kind of aligned, that is when I started getting faster. So we don't look at like the little muscles and the things that are affecting us, that can lead to us being a little bit slower. And so working on balance, working on plyos. So when I say that, I mean like you have a box and you're doing box hops, or you're jumping from one spot to another in like consecutive motions. But I highly recommend incorporating that like maybe once a week. Plyometric work will be your friend if you're trying to get faster. Something that a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to speed is also your mindset. I know this is very vague, but when it comes to mindset, if you think you can't run fast, you will not. I have had plenty of times where I entered into competitions thinking about my competitors and thinking about how much faster they were than I was, and that hindered my success. If you're negatively telling yourself you can't do something, and this goes with anything in life, but really sprinting is part of it. Like if you want to be faster, you're gonna tell yourself, I can do this, I can run fast, I can push my body, because the mind is a really powerful thing. There have been plenty of workouts that I was exhausted with, or I just felt like my body had nothing else to give. And then all of a sudden I told myself, no, we're gonna do this. My coach would put somebody next to me, and I am so competitive that I literally would find a new gear and get faster, which shows me that my body can do more than I think it can. And so mentally having that like mindset, whatever you gotta do to kind of get yourself in that competition mode, but that's what made a big difference for me. So if you wanna have somebody next to you, so something I used to do would be putting a guy next to me because I know that men are faster than me. And so I would really push my body when I did that, and I would really get into a new gear, and then I would run probably super fast, or I would run a time that I hadn't run that whole session. And so whatever you gotta do to mentally get yourself in that mental headspace to say, I can run fast, I can do this, that is gonna be a game changer, okay? Like, I promise you, your mentality will make a difference. You don't think it does, but in the long run, it really does. My last thing is just repetition. I dedicated myself to really doing all these things over and over and over again, and that is when the success came. You're not gonna just be an overnight success when it comes to being fast, okay? You're going to have to put in the work, and you're gonna have to continuously come back and say, okay, although I don't want to be here today, I have to push past these boundaries, push past the negative feelings I have towards the matter, and just do it. Because the more repetitions and the more reps you put in, the more success you will see in the long run. So I really hope that this video encourages you guys to put in the work, to push your body, and to really look at what you're doing. I promise you, if you start implementing some of these strategies that I have said, then you will see success. You will start to feel better, start to feel faster, and you will start to hit those goals that you want. If you made it this far to the video, comment down below one thing that you truly love when it comes to running. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts, and I'll share mine. And let's make this a little bit of a community where we can just feel encouraged and inspired with each other. I will see you guys in another video. Bye.